sixes, timeline, Hinduism in India, all the way to Israel's United Kingdom. And here's how that's done now. Timeline. Hinduism in India, Phoenicians and the alphabet, Olmecs of Mesoamerica, Israelites, Exodus and desert wandering, Israelites, conquest, and judges. Greek Dark Ages, Israel's United Kingdom. And to the song, it looks like this. Hinduism in India, Phoenicians and the alphabet, Olmecs of Mesoamerica, Israelites, Exodus and desert wandering, Israelites, conquest and judges, Greek Dark Ages, Israel's United Kingdom. And again, like usual with the timeline, we go over the hand motions, we sing, we roll the silly dice. Math. This week it's skip counting the 5s and the 6s. The 5s are just chanted and they are pretty simple. So we're going to do a game with this one after we go through them a couple times with the shaker. The shaker is really easy to make. Then we'll add a game to it. So first we chant it. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75. Do that a few times when everyone pretty much has the hang of it. Then I would do a funny movement, like stand like a flamingo. And while I stood like a flamingo, the whole class would stand like a flamingo, and we would chant it through. Then I would pick another student to come up, pick a movement, whatever they wanted to do, touch your toes, and then everyone would touch their toes, and we would chant through the 5s again. 5,
10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75.
And then for the 6s, it's sung to the tune of Three Blind Mice. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42, 48, 54, 60, 66, 72, 78, 84, 90. And we would sing through that a couple times. I usually would start off a little slower and then go a little faster. And then I would have these already set up in my room. I'm just going to throw them up here so you can see them. It's the same thing that I used last week. They're just paper that's laminated and cut. And then you could write on them with dry erase markers, and then you erase it when you're done. So I would have these up, and while the youngers chanted, and the olders could chant too, then the olders would come up and take turns pointing to the multiplication problem for that number. So it would be 6, 12, 18, 24,
30, 36, 42, 48, 54, 60, 66, 72, 78, 84, 90.
And I would pick another student to come up and point. They just had to point to the correct card with the number 6, 12, 18, so on and so forth. So that's moving on to English. Pronoun order. I will say it and then sing it, chant it. First person singular, second person singular, third person singular, pronoun order. First person plural, second person plural, third person plural, pronoun order. So because this one is pretty simple, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start it and sing it into the microphone. And then pass it around and give others a turn to also sing this into the microphone. If they are a shyer group, then we will all do it together, but one person will have the microphone. And if they want to be the only one singing it, then they can just take turns and everyone else is quiet while they have the microphone. So you just kind of have to feel your kids out and see what they would rather do. There's a couple different ways to do that. But as long as you're going over it and it's fun. So it's good. Pronoun order. First person singular, second person singular, third person singular, pronoun order. First person plural, second person plural, third person plural, pronoun order. And then we pass it to somebody else.
First person singular, second person singular, third person singular, pronoun order. First person plural, second person plural, third person plural, pronoun order.
Just sing through it, passing the microphone or the talking stick or whatever you have. And that's English. History, tell me about the Crusades. Eleanor of Aquitaine and her son, Richard the Lionhearted, fought. Due to some technical difficulties, I had to reshoot the history section. So we're going to introduce history and run through that real quick. History, tell me about the Crusades. Eleanor of Aquitaine and her son. For this one, we're going to do hand motions. So for her son, we're going to do this. Act like we're cradling a baby. Richard the Lion-Hearted fought the Turks for Jerusalem. During the time of the Crusades, we're going to put a cross on our heart and just kind of bring it out. The Crusades, which occurred from I'm going to hold up 10 fingers, 1095. So a 10, a 9, and a 5 to 12. You can do this or this. Just holding up a 2. 1290. Tell me about the Crusades. Eleanor of Aquitaine and her son, Richard the Lion-Hearted, fought the Turks for Jerusalem during the time of the Crusades, which occurred from 1095 to 1291. Then after you do that a couple times, then we're going to go ahead and play popcorn with this, which means we're going to circle a couple words. It can be a lot of words or just a few words, as easy or as difficult as you want to make it, depending on your class. And then how popcorn works is whatever word is circled is when everybody jumps. So everyone kind of gets in a squatting position. And then Eleanor of Aquitaine and her son. When everyone says son, everybody jumps up. Richard the Lion, and everyone jumps up again. So that's a fun way to go through it. And then one more time with the hand motions. Tell me about the Crusades. Eleanor of Aquitaine and her son, Richard the Lion-Hearted, fought the Turks for Jerusalem during the time of the Crusades, which occurred from 1095 to 1291. And that's history. Latin. First conjunction endings, imperfect tense. So, what makes things imperfect, which is not perfect, and something that makes things imperfect is a bomb, because it blows up and it just destroys and ruins everything. So, we're going to remember that the first conjunction endings, imperfect tense, starts with bomb. And we're going to go bomb and put our hands up in the air and say it really loud like that. Oh, why am I getting Bob? Bomb. Must have been thinking Bob. This is Latin. We need Latin lamb. Bamba spat, bamus batus bant, bamba spat, bamus batus bant. First conjugation, imperfect tense. Okay, so Latin first conjugation endings, imperfect tense starts with bomb. And like I said, we'll just say that really loud and throw our hands up in the air, bomb. And pass the puppet around and just sing through it. And that's Latin. What are some parts of the food chain? Bob's going to go ahead and introduce this and sing it once, and then I'm going to put him down because I'm actually going to be doing hand motions for this. What are some parts of the food chain? What are some parts of the food chain? Some parts of the food chain are producers, consumers, decomposers, producers, consumers, decomposers. What are some parts of the food chain? Some parts of the food chain are producers. Okay, so I'm going to do this hand motions because it shows that something is growing. Producers, consumers. Something is eating. We used this hand motion when we did the types of consumers. Eat 'em up, yum yum. So we're gonna go producers, consumers, decomposers. So it's a thing and it dies and it goes down. So producers, consumers, decomposers. What are some parts of the food chain? Some parts of the food chain are producers, consumers, decomposers. Producers, consumers, decomposers. Okay, that's science. And geography, Western European countries. And I'll do this on a map. When this is done on a map, it does make more sense. But the Western European countries, we're going to start at Ireland, which is an island. Go to England, which is next to it, also an island. And then we're going to go to France, Spain, and then Portugal. And Portugal is kind of stuck on Spain. So, and then we're going to go round again and go back up to Ireland and do the whole thing again. Western European countries. Ireland, England, France, and Spain, Portugal, round again. Ireland, England, France, and Spain, Portugal. And I got this tune from CC Happy Mom. Ireland, England, France, and Spain, Portugal, round again. Ireland, England, France, and Spain, Portugal. And that's geography.
Ireland, England, France, and Spain, Portugal, round again. Ireland, England, France, and Spain, Portugal.
Bible. What are the three kinds of kings? Not kinds. What are the three kings of unified Israel? Bible is optional. It's not normally a part of the memory work, I know, in a CC community, but it is in the memory work and in the flip book that I use, and so I decided that I wanted to throw it on my board and start incorporating it in the weekly memory work. What are three kings? What are the three kings of Israel? I'm going to do three blind mice on this one. Three kings of Israel, Saul, David, Solomon. Three kings of Israel, Saul, David, Solomon. What are the three kings of unified Israel? Saul, David, Solomon. Saul, David, Solomon. That's what we're going to do for Bible, and that's all of it. It's fun, but there's a lot, so you just keep singing and practicing, and that's week 3. I hope that helps. Shout out to Pearson Girls. Hello!
Changes for week 3 from 4th edition to 5th edition. I did 4th edition. If you did 5th edition or are doing 5th edition, then these are the differences. There are no differences except for in history. They're very minor. A couple words are switched around. And science. Science is still off 1 week. So the week 3, wait a second. Week 3 4th edition science is the same as week 4 5th edition science. But other than that, everything's the same.
Vamos participant, bambas bat, vamos participant in the...
I forgot. I don't know what it is with me and science. I always forget. What are some parts of the food chain?